Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking specifically about, this is my review for City of Mist, the tabletop role-playing game. All right, so let's talk about it. The City of Mist tabletop role-playing game was created, the creator of the game is Amit Moshe. The editor for the game was Aaron Avaram. The lead artist for the game was Mariusz Suzuik. And the game is published by Sons of Oak Game Studio. Okay, all right. So this game came out in 2017. It was successfully kickstarted for $104,000. And just as a side note, I think they used that money very, very well. A lot of times when you see a Kickstarter, you're like, hey, did that money actually go into this Kickstarter, or the person who did that Kickstarter, do they have a boat now? And you can really tell, I really feel like every bit of money that was raised for that Kickstarter went into this product, which I think was interesting. All right, so I'm gonna give my summary. Actually, you know what? It's really, I wish I could. Yeah, I'm gonna let's jump into it. All right, so the copy of this game that I am reviewing, I purchased on DriveThruRPG. I purchased it with some birthday money that I received. So it's essentially, this was a birthday gift for me, and it cost $25 for the PDF, right? And the PDF has indexes. It has an excellent. It has appendices. It has indexes. It has a good table of content, and it has the tabs that you can jump around in the content. The PDF is extremely well crafted. The execution on the physical aspect, the executions on the product aspects of this game, not the content itself, are extremely high. All right, I want to talk a little bit about the art. The art is beautiful in this book. It's incredibly well illustrated. It has multiple artists. It has these interstitials that actually, are like small comic books that are interstitched, throughout the entire book. There's no less than between 5 and 10 of these, and each of them are between 3 to 5 pages long. They're really evocative. They're beautifully drawn. They're engaging. They kind of sweep you through the book as far as the book being readable. Really, really wonderful. The art in this is excellent. There's a few things that I would have tweaked. Just a minor issue here or there with the basically on any book this large. By the way, this book is 500 pages long. There's a few pieces that aren't at the same super high quality as all the other pieces, but overall, a 9.9 out of 10 for the art that's in the book. Exceptionally well done art, and really brings the world to life. So what is this game about? This game has a really, really unusual setting. The setting is noir, mythic powers, right? So I would describe it like Mike Hammer meets Percy Jackson. I think that's the best description of this setting. It's half god people, that are half deity people who are in a pulp noir city, and most of the time are solving mysteries, right? It's also basically the team of these superpowered people, right? And that is a little bit unusual in the game. It's kind of are these half deities or are these supers? And it's that classic line that a lot of games have now. We don't know. It could be either. It could be both. Is the question important? You get that a lot now. A lot of games don't really want to determine what the source of their power is. They want to leave it really open. I personally don't like that. I really. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So let's get into some of the things. There were definitely some issues that I had with this game. So before we go any further, I do want to kind of give my mini review of it, and I'm going to kind of extend that out and explain why I believe this. So I cannot recommend buying this to most players. There are groups of players and game masters I think will really enjoy this. I really did, actually, I have to say, I really did think that I got my money's worth for buying this. It was worth the $25. And the reason why was just the read. By the way, I plan to never run this. And the reason why is I don't have a group I could run this with. This is a Powered by the Apocalypse like, not completely like, it's Powered by the Apocalypse plus more abstraction and more complexity, right? And it's 500 pages long. I could never personally bring any group that I routinely play with to this game, without a doubt. And because it's just, it's a really unusual setting. That's actually a plus. I don't think that would be a negative. But it's a 500-page book, and the rules are unwieldy, very unwieldy in my opinion. So I don't recommend this purchase for most players. And here's why. Okay, so this game is powered by the Apocalypse, and I will talk about the groups the groups of people I would suggest, I would recommend purchase for. So one, the $25, how I got my money's worth is I learned a ton about design from this game. Some things to do and quite a few things not to do. Also, I really love seeing absolutely new tabletop role-playing games. This is an absolutely new tabletop role-playing game with a wonderfully fresh setting. And I just really, and when I look at this book, I see passion, hard work, courage. There's a lot here, right? What it's missing is restraint. I will say right now, Aaron Everam is the editor, and I really feel like, I'm sorry to say this, I feel like this is his fault. This is a problematic tabletop role-playing game. I think when Aaron looked at it to begin with, or was even engaged for this product, I think he really should have sat down with Amit Moshe and say, everything you want to do, you need to cut it in half, or even cut it into thirds, right? And basically, this game is too long, too complex, too abstract from the rules perspective. The world is absolutely beautiful. The world is darn near perfect, actually. But the rules are so unwieldy and so ungainly and so abstract and so complex and so long that here's the group that I would recommend this to be played for. It absolutely can be played by one highly skilled game masters as the game master and 4 highly skilled game masters as each of the players. That is how this game can be played and played well. This is Powered by the Apocalypse. I believe that Powered by the Apocalypse I believe this for a while, and this game absolutely confirms my suspicions of this, that I think Powered by the Apocalypse has a problem that a lot of indie games have right now, and it's designers gathering their designer friends and playing these games and play testing them. So these games are play tested with super groups. They're play tested with groups of game masters and designers, right? So that's the issue, is they're play tested with groups of designers, right? So everybody at the table is like a pro athlete. It's like playing a scrimmage with pro athletes, right? And then when you put this thing into the wild and you see what a real table looks like, which is a very engaged game master, a very engaged player, right? That very engaged player's paramour, right, who's there to be with that other person. Somebody who's there, who's new, and then, finally someone who's there and is highly intelligent, but is in the mood to do nothing more than cut things apart in that game that night, right? That is that's what most game masters actually deal with, right? And I think that's being forgotten for a lot of reasons, and here's some of the reasons, right? This game really made me think a lot about tabletop role-playing games, and it was worth every penny to me because I really enjoyed it. It was a very enjoyable read. The ideas in it are wonderful. There's this idea about how to build a mystery by shaping the mystery like an iceberg. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. There's so many brilliant parts of this game, but it's darn near unplayable by any standard tabletop role play. It is unplayable, in my opinion, by any tabletop role-playing game group. And I've already been there. I've been at tables where you present PBTA to a regular group of players, and like just not everybody at the table gets it, and it's not fun because you got people playing at these very high rates, and then others, it's a real challenge. It's a real challenge. So, and then other people just don't get it at all, right? And not getting PBTA, that's not like, oh, why don't you get it? PBTA is incredibly complex and incredibly abstract. So, PBTA, powered by the Apocalypse. Apocalypse came out of Apocalypse World. Apocalypse World was played by extremely few people, and then it was brought to us by Sage Latora and Adam Cobell in Dungeon World. Dungeon World was beautifully done and really kind of boiled it down to its essence a lot more. And even Dungeon World has a 60-page guide that I read saying, okay, we know you just read Dungeon World, but you probably didn't get it. Let us explain it to you, right? And I've struggled for like a couple years to really get a full scope and an understanding of PBTA. And, I feel like I'm a skilled game master, and I have 2 degrees, and I still don't really feel like I fully understand PBTA or how to run it. It's incredibly abstract and complex. And guess what? Amit Moshe decided, PBTA is not enough. I need to add more complexity and abstraction. So this is PBTA plus for the rule system. And it is and the reason why I'm going on about this is I think this is a beautiful game that the rules engine makes it very inaccessible to a lot of players. So here's my take, right? I really feel the problem here was Aaron Everam should have said to Amit Moshe, you have to cut this in half. You have to cut this into a third. We're going to do exactly what FFG has already shown the path for. We're going to do 3 core rule books, right? So in this core rule book, we'll focus on this aspect of powers and this aspect of the city. In the next one, we'll do another district of the city and another set of powers. And in the third core rule book, all which will be separate and will be able to be purchased separately and will be separate products. You can play all of them or you can play one of them. The path has already been shown. Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny. The FFG Star Wars books. That is the best model for creating these highly complex worlds, right? And that's what Amit Moshe has delivered. He's crammed this incredibly highly beautiful world into this game, but delivered it with a incredibly complex and abstract rule system. And it's too much, right? And the reality is I'm not blessed to, and let's talk about one of the other issues, I think, why we're here, right? Why do we have this problem with these games that are starting to do this, right? Well, there's good reasons, right? So I don't play with 4 game masters, right? I play with an actual table, like real players, right? And we play at a physical table, right? So we play with the people who are available in our town, right? Which means that there's different levels of quality of play among the players, right? Now, why would somebody build a game for 4 perfect players, 4 game masters as players, and a game master? Well, the reason why is if you accept online games as a robust form of the game. I absolutely believe that online tabletop role-playing games, they're a shadow of a tabletop role-playing game, right? The real game is exactly what Gary built, right? It's played at a physical table. It's played with your local friends who you actually know, or friends you're going to be making through play, right? But that's not really how a lot of games are being played today. Games can be cherry picked today, and you can get 4 incredibly highly skilled game masters and use them as players because your pool is the world if you're playing an online game. And I think that the people who built this were used to online games, right? And or were play testing with their super awesome designer buddies who gave who and when they were done, they were like, wow, that was a great game. Well, it was a great game because you're playing you're playing a scrimmage with pro athletes, right? And this issue has got to get fixed in indie games, because I really feel like it's bringing these games that really aren't playable by the vast majority of groups, right? And now I will say also, I am highly looking forward to the second edition of this game. Cut it in half. and switch it to Tiny D6 or switch it to Index Card RPG. It definitely needs to lose the PBTA rules engine. I don't think that, that makes it super indie, right? And the other thing is, I really love the world of this game, and I really feel like it needs an accessible, helpful, useful rules engine, right? And I think, again, I actually think PBTA is really important for the history of tabletop role-playing games. Like, it really taught us a lot about how stories can be structured, right? But the reality is, PBTA needs the opposite of what Amit Moshe did in this game. PBTA needs to be boiled down and made simpler and made more accessible. But he went the other way. This game actually adds to PBTA, which is like, it's not a good day. It's not a good idea, right? And so, but I really feel like, the second edition of this game could be truly tremendous. The other issue is, why is it 500 pages long? Well, one of the reasons why is the game is like, here's the world, and here's all the things you can do, and here's all these theme books. Now let me give you, and Amit Moshe is like, here's a theme book, right? And like a theme book could be like locations, and he's like, okay, so you can have a dusty tower, or you can have a creepy warehouse, or you can have, and he just goes through all these things you can put in it, and then he executes and actually shows you examples of it, right? Well, here's the problem, right? This game is so long and so unwieldy that you need it absolutely demands a highly skilled game master, right? By the way, a newbie game master, no way. I don't think they could possibly run this. So you need this highly skilled game master, right? Well, if you have a highly skilled game master, they don't need all these examples you put in, right? Like, it's just, so it is not for anyone, right? Like, it's so long and abstract, it can't be played, it can't be run by anybody but a highly skilled game master. And if you have a highly skilled game master, they don't need an example of they don't need you to show them what a creepy warehouse looks like. Or you can show them that one, but don't show them 6. Everything in the game has like 6 examples, right? And so, it actually shows this complex abstraction, but then with all the examples, attempts to lead by the hand. It's the worst of both. The rules on this are just really, and if it seems like I'm a little, because I really feel like there's so much potential here, right? And I am a little disappointed, and the reason why is I was super hyped last year about this game. I was really ready to purchase this, right? And I was super hyped to run this for my group, which I'm not going to be able to run this for my group. And I just feel like there's so much potential that's lost here, right? This really could have been a great game. And one of the reasons, too, is I invite, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think City of Mist hit, the way anybody wanted it to, right? I've never seen it on the shelf of any FLGS. I have never walked past a game of this being played at any FLGS or at any of the conventions I've been to, right? I have never, none of my friends talk about this, right? I'm on, as far as tabletop role-playing games, I'm active on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and I have never seen anyone talking this game up or saying, hey, I ran this and it was really awesome, or, within my feeds, right? It just doesn't pop up in my feeds. What are the games that pop up in my feeds? Warhammer. Warhammer Fantasy Role-Playing, that's tabletop, and Warhammer tabletop role-playing games, 40K, the FFG games, Star Wars, the Tiny D6 and the Index Card RPG, the Star Wars games, the new Star Trek game, Starfinder. I see people are excited about these, and they put that content in front of me. My feeds put that content in front of me because people are interacting with them and talking about them. But City of Mist, I think there's like 5 groups in the country who are like, we have the perfect group to run this. Let's run it. That was fun. This game's probably got like 300 people in the country playing it, right? And playing it well. So if you have this perfect group, you can run this. But how many people have that, right? And it's incredibly rare. So it's just I really was kind of disappointed with only with the rules section of this, and also I really feel bad for the Sons of Oak team, because I feel like if you look at this, they poured their hearts and soul into this. Like, they worked so hard on it. This is a passionate project, well executed on world and art and writing, and but editing. This game needed more. It needed to be cut in half, cutting 2/3 of it off. It needed, it really needed to be edited down, and to be made accessible. And editing is hard. Editing is hard. I've definitely done it before too, where I just leave too much stuff in. And role-playing games are hard. Like, it's so clear these people work so hard on this game. If you are a game designer, buy it. If you are fortunate to have a perfect group of highly skilled GMs for players, and you are a highly skilled GM yourself, buy it. If you are a highly skilled game master with a normal group of players, I don't think this is going to help you. That's my take on City of Mist by Sons of Oaks Game Studio. Take care.